Hey, it's the right weekend, and I'm a big sports guy. I played college football and played high school sports and all that. So when I could combine talking about sports and culture war issues, I would jump at it. So you have this story of Novak. Um, oh, wait a minute, I have to see the name in order to pronounce it. Sorry, Djokovic. There you go, Novak Djokovic. And here's the whole thing. So he's opposed to the vaccine. Period. Okay, so he applied for a medical exemption. Now here's the whole thing, and here's the article. One of the reasons why he's applied for the um, excuse me. It's understood that the reigning Australian Open champion was relying on a previous COVID infection as the basis for his exemption to compete. But that is not recognized by the government of Australia. Now, here's the thing. This is what's going on. This is why this is there. You could, when they tell you follow the science, follow the science. This has nothing to do with science. This has to do with control. And if we don't get our act together, if they could do this to the number one tennis player in the world, okay, a guy who won the Australian Open last year and is going back to defend it, if they could do that to him, okay, they have him in a crappy hotel, police outside his door, all right, where they took all his stuff. The only thing they left him in was his phone. All right. If they could do that to this famous rich athlete, what can they do to us? That's why it's important that we all fight this. Okay. It sucks to get COVID, but if you have had it, you have natural antibodies that could fight another infection. There's no disputing that. You know, they'll say, oh, well, we don't know how long it lasts. Well, guess what? You know, there's 3 shots for the COVID. Now you have to have 3 shots of it. Israel's talking about the 4th shot. So if you need 4 shots to protect yourself from the virus that you already have, why are you going to take it? I don't blame him for not wanting to take it. I don't want to get any boosters. I just recovered from COVID. There's a lot of people right now recovering from COVID because this Omicron is highly contagious, but thank God the symptoms are mild. You know, this could be what pushes us to herd immunity, which is a good thing. The bad thing is we'll have another, you know, perennial respiratory virus where, you know, we're gonna every season we're gonna have to deal with the flu and COVID. That's the way it's gonna probably, and that's the way the pandemic is gonna end. So we need to support this guy because if not, you know, they want to use this. We give this power to the government, they won't relinquish it. It's not going to end with a COVID shot. It's not going to end there. You go back to when they called everybody conspiracy theorist, okay? When they said that, oh, well, you're going to need your COVID in order to have a job. That's happening. You know, they were saying that you were going to need the vaccine passport to travel, you know, to go places. They said that was a conspiracy theory. We're there a year later, we're there. So when are you gonna look at that, quote unquote, these conspiracy theorists were not wrong. They just weren't allowed to speak. You know, they would ban them or delete posts on social media. delete videos, give strikes on videos. Um, yeah. So where do we end with this? What's the end game if you're gonna let the government do this? Where's your breaking point? Because yeah, people will be like, oh, but that's Australia, that's what's going on in Australia. How long before that comes here? How long before that comes here and people are okay with it? People are already okay with you losing your job over not getting the vaccine. People are talking about not being able to get health care if you don't have a vaccine. People are talking about you should pay more health insurance or pay a higher premium for life insurance. So if they're not going to include recovery from infection, from a COVID infection as an exemption, we have a problem because that is not science. Okay. That is not medical science. That is just the government fishing for control. And in Australia, they already have it. This guy's in a detention hotel where they have these facilities out there in Australia where they hold their citizens and visitors to the country if they don't follow the COVID rules. So, like I said, at one point do they put that here and you're okay with it? Because that's how the government has taken people fear so much about the power of the president because little by little, you've had like, what the Bush administration called the Unitarian executive. To me, that was always just, code word for dictatorship, meaning, more power, you put more and more power into the executive branch, which makes it dangerous. But this is the problem when you get, the Constitution is supposed to constrain the government. And, so it's not only supposed to, um, hold on, let me rewind there. So we just can't give our rights away to these governments. And that's what's going on with Djokovic. He's there. Um, I admire him for standing up for himself and going, no, I'm not gonna take the shot if it means, how much money this is gonna cost him? You're talking about I think he needs one grand slam this year, which is only four. So for people who don't know tennis, it's Australian, French, Wimbledon, and then the US Open. Those are the four Grand Slam titles. Okay. He needs one to have the most Grand Slam wins. Or, so this is, he's risking a lot because there's only so, he's also, he's right now, he's holds the longest streak of being the number one tennis player ever. I remember reading it was like 200 and like 48 weeks or something like that. I'm just spitballing off the top of my head because this is something I read early in the day. I'm actually, just in case if there's more breaking news tomorrow, I'm releasing this tomorrow morning. I'm recording this the day before. I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow, but this is a story that I've been looking at all day, and I wanted to approach the topic because, like I said, it's important that we understand that this is stuff that's, if it could happen to him, it could happen to us, and it's easier to happen to us because we're not famous like he is. So we people on the right, we don't do good with collective action, but this is one where we have to collectively act together and make sure that we support this tennis player Djokovic, and but keep the eye on the ball and understand that we have to prevent this from happening here. We need to fight these mandates harder. You know, And granted, in right-leaning states, it's these mandates are being fought, but we really have to, let's not forget that there are people who agree with us that are not necessarily right-leaning. There are people on the left and liberals who are against the mandates. Just the media doesn't give them play. They don't give them the airtime. So we have to do this for those, even though we don't agree on everything, we have to, with those people, we have to um, stand in solidarity with them. And like I said, we have to stand in solidarity with Djokovic. And you know what? When he comes here for the U.S. Open, let's give him a round of applause. And let's see, it's going to be interesting because the U.S. Open is in New York City. Excuse me, which have the most strictest um, vaccination laws. But which is funny, they do have exceptions for people who are coming from outside the state and the country. So that's interesting. So we'll see. Let's see how that goes. But he needs a big applause so we could show that we're in solidarity with him against these mandates. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm the Right Rican. You can follow me here on either YouTube or Rumble. I prefer you would go. I would prefer for you to do both, but honestly, Rumble was my preference. Um, I post on YouTube just to, because not everyone uses Rumble yet, but hopefully down the line they'll get there. Um, and please, if you like my content, share it with your friends, share it with your family. Um, my goal for this year is to get to uh, 1K with followers, either on preferably, like I said, both on YouTube and Rumble, but I'm closer to that number on Rumble than I am on YouTube. So and you can interact with me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, Getter, Parlor, um, all of them. I'm, people who've already, could contest to that. I speak to the people who watch my videos and I interact with you guys on social media and on the comment section. Just my previous video for the January 6th, someone disagreed that I called it a riot, and I interacted with them and let them know, why I called it a riot. And that's what I'm trying to do, trying to build this up, trying to strike conversations. Let me know what you think about this Djokovic situation, and what do you think about me comparing it to what's going on now here in the U.S. and how we got to prevent it from getting that bad here. It's bad, but it's not that bad. So, anyways, the Right Rican, and have a good weekend.